how badly the people all around that tourist place suffered in that moment when the terrorist came and opened fire. All right, Major General Brajesh Kumar is there with me live on the broadcast. Mr. Kumar, there are visuals of evidence that are emerging, at this point of time, also detailing the kind of horrific ordeal in which this act of terrorism has taken place. But Pakistan continues to say that India does not have a supported evidence to link their involvement in this terror attack, when it is in fact without any doubt to impend that what has happened is on the behest of plannings of LET.
Simran, this is the same old story. We saw what they did in the parliament a decade and a half, 2 decades back. We are aware of, the Bombay terror attack. Till the chap was caught live, they have still continued to disown it. We have been sending to them dossiers after dossiers. This is precisely how a soft state reacts. Is it the first terror attack? When President Clinton was here, there was Chatti Singh Bada massacre. 35 odd Sikhs were killed. The entire Hindu community has been wiped out. So what are we talking? Time to take action. An action not against the terrorists itself, or the terror camps, or the terror heads, but against the very state of Pakistan. We heard General Asif Munir about 10 days back talking the language and the content there. So that is the source of terror. No point wasting your energy and frittering away on small things. These visuals and homilies get us what? Some tears? A victim card? High time we got out of it. And first thing first, which we must do is ensure that the tourist arrival in Kashmir Valley is maintained by any action. So there are 3-4 set of actions. We always say tit for tat. But as long as if your tat is smaller than their tit, that's been happening all through, it becomes effective. It's the same military which has been ruling, same democratic government in here. Of course, there have been tremendous changes which we see in last about decade and a half. But if everything Mr. Modi is supposed to do, what are we people doing? What are the intelligence people doing? What are the services people doing? What the police guys are doing? We have to be offensive in fighting a grey zone operation. I am sure the measure we always wanted to take, but we are scared of doing so, that is keeping the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance, would hurt them. The very fact that the fountainhead of water to which their agriculture flourishes, the tap is with us, whether it's Indus, whether it's Jhelum, or it's Ravi. And all these 3 rivers pass through those areas wherein we ourselves of deficient of water. More about it later. But this is the first good step you have done. We got to screw the hell out of the Pakistan army, which actually holds the nation state. And the reason of their threat is enmity with us. Pakistan to bahana hai. They want to be perpetuating power, and therefore all this is happening. So let's not fritter away our resources or taking some dharna and possession and those little political things which we do inside our country. Let's look for tougher action. Fighting a grey zone operations is a continuous process, and it's not only the job of military or the security force. It's job of everyone. Imagine at 12:30 or 2:30 in the afternoon, there are terrorists in this area of Pahalgam, and we don't know about it. Our human end, our electronic end, where were they? There is an elected government which wants statehood to be restored. Can we have statehood restored in such circumstances? We would support tough actions across the main source of the terror. That happens to be Asif Munir and his ilk. No lesser mortal can help us out. And in that direction, holding water is a big thing, because it will hurt their economy, it will hurt their farmers, It will hurt the agriculture output. It will hurt the economy, no end. But of course, just by saying it will not happen. We have to create infrastructure facilities for this water to be subsumed or used by us. It takes time. But the very thought that the water is not going to be coming, or water is going to be scarce, or somebody else is going to control the water is a big, big thing, and we must applaud the government and take measures to make it succeed in all manners. Thank you, Samrat.
Well, absolutely, Mr. Brijesh Kumar. As horrific as it seemed, the visuals on air do only scream the kind of helplessness that the Indian tourist had to, in fact, face. And this was not just the Indian tourists. There were tourists apart from the Indian origin as well. Countries have come forward and condemned this chilling attack, the terrorist attack, and this is after, in fact, there have been continuous and repeated ceasefire violations by Pakistan. And as you have also put it out very correctly, that this is the same old story, but it's high time that in fact we own it up and we make it a point to show that how it is retaliated. All right, I also have Brigadier, Rajan Jamwal joining me, who is there with me live on the broadcast. Sir, there is a video which is another evidence here which we see on our screens. I'm sure you must have also taken a look. This is a clear-cut evidence of how exactly barbaric nature, and this is also described by the family members of the victims, and now survivors are also talking about how they just came and took over the entire area. All right, I will request you to kindly hold on to that for a second, Mr. Jamwal. I have SP Ved, the former DGP of Jammu, sir, joining me live on the broadcast. Mr. Ved, you know, we have this video on our screens right now, exclusively accessed, about the firing that was happening in that tourist location of Pahalgam, with these terrorists firing onto the tourists indiscriminately, and they are just shouting in panic. This is very heart-wrenching, and India continues to also expect an action against the terrorist forces.
See, this was a Hamas type executed. This action it has footprints of Hamas type attack, and I've been saying Hamas terrorists were actually a Hamas commander. Terrorist commander was brought in by this Pakistani establishment and was interacted a few months back with the Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist POK. So from that moment itself, when that news came, I was thinking they are planning something Hamas type, and I think this has footprints of that this attack. They had the cameras with them filming every shot, and I think that is how these visuals are coming. And obviously, this is to create panic. This is to create fear amongst the people. That is what Pakistan's establishment want to achieve, so that everyone in Kashmir and also in rest of India feels scared. The tourism industry is crippled, and the peace is paralyzed. So this is what Pakistani establishment wants to achieve. They also are trying to execute only Hindus with the purpose that there is a divide between the two communities, so that India is harmed, the interest of India is harmed. This is what Pakistan's establishment want to achieve.
Mr. Ved, this is also a very clear indication of how, in fact, you are also putting it out in an attempt to further divide the polarization.
Absolutely. So has always been the ambition of Pakistan, that these are the fault lines India have, and they would always like to divide India. That's why they attacked the Raghunath temple twice. They attacked Amarnath Yatris, so that there is a backlash from Hindu community on Muslims. So this has been Pakistan's old strategy. I have handled it, so I know it. So I think we should be careful of ensuring that the divide between the communities does not take place. They have purposely done this, that identified people who are Hindus in Hamas style, and forcing them to open their pants, seeing whether the circumcision has taken place or not, whether they can recite kalma or not, and execute them. So this is an attempt to divide the country.
Well, absolutely, as you are saying that there was an attempt, clear-cut attempt to divide the communities, to create a environment of horror and fear. But when the CCS meeting has happened yesterday, it was also brought to the attention that the cross-border linkages on the terrorist attack were brought out, and it was also targeted to make a note that there was a successful completion of the assembly elections, of the elections in the Union Territory, and the steady progress towards the economic growth, to puncture the economic processes that have been going on in the valley peacefully. This was
absolutely
a direct, attempt.
What CCS said, absolutely correct. There has been huge change on the ground. The development push of the Honorable Prime Minister. This all is not being digested by Pakistan establishment. After all, in today's internet time, in POK are watching everything, how they are crippled and how India's economy is making Jammu Kashmir a ideal destination for tourism. So this cannot be digested by Pakistani establishments, wicked people. So that is why the attempt of this. And the people of Jammu Kashmir have rejected Pakistan's attempts to divide. You saw the kind of response you saw in Kashmir Valley against these. And ultimately, the Kashmiri people will be hit the most after the killing of these innocent people, Indian citizens. So most of the cancellations will take place. Tourism will almost come down quickly, and economy will suffer.
Well, absolutely. Former DGP of Jammu, SP Ved, thank you, sir, for speaking to us, being with us on the broadcast, as well as we also, in fact, monitor and track the details very closely following up the Pahalgam terror attack. Thank you very much for speaking to us, sir. Now, Sumit Peer, who's a political commentator, also joins me live on the broadcast. Mr. Peer, it is unfortunate, and we continue to maintain it, that India is committed to assure and in fact reciprocate in the highest order to this heart-wrenching barbaric attack. There is another video that we are showing our viewers on the screen of the terrorist being caught on camera firing at the Indian tourist. What do you have to say about it?
I think, ma'am, we have to hit Pakistan as hard as much possible so that Asim Munir and his generals start getting nightmares. Pakistan must shiver. They must be in a perpetual fear of existence. And we have to bring down this Pakistani military establishment down forever. Because these people have two agendas. One is this anti-Hindu agenda, anti-India agenda, that's one. And that is another agenda which runs against Kashmir and against India's economy. They want to keep the pot boiling. This Pakistan army has a motto. Do you know what is the motto? Iman taqwa jihad fi zibillah. That means we'll believe in the Allah and we'll do jihad in the name of Allah. That is the motto of a full-fledged army. This is not a motto of a Lashkar-e-Taiba Jaish-e-Mohammed. This army is nothing better than a Lashkar-e-Taiba Jaish-e-Mohammed. Only they are decorated, they have a uniform, and they wear those Chinese medals which they have imported from China. These people have challenged us. They are trying to put all the work down the drain what we have done all the years. They are trying to get Kashmir back into where it was. Now they are terrorists, and even I don't know, but I at times think the kind of precision these people have been killing people with these double shot is a typical commando signature. I don't know, some of these people might be even SSG commandos, which are only disguised as terrorists. This is challenging the might of India. India has to respond. And we have to send a very, very strong message to Pakistan, because look, these terrorists which they send are disposables, they are expandables. But what is the epicenter of terror? The epicenter of terror is GHQ Rawalpindi, is Pakistan Army and ISI. Unless and until these generals feel the pain, unless and until their families feel the pain, and unless and until their economic wings are cut off, this Asghari, Bahriya and 4G Foundation unless and until we start hitting them. What have we done beautifully is we have stopped, we have kind of said goodbye to Indus Water Treaty. Let them now be high and dry. I mean, they will have no water. That is how you handle this terrorist regime, this terrorist country. And politicians in Pakistan do not exist. They are a dead lot. They are zombies. The only people who matter is this army, which is basically nothing but a jihadis which are disguised as army. Ma'am, we have to hit them economically, diplomatically, and militarily whenever we find it is appropriate. And one thing has to be very sure. We have to tell the world, if we find a terrorist camp anywhere or a terrorist launching pad, that becomes a legitimate hit target for India. Nobody can intervene and say, is it within Pakistani territory, POK, yahan hai, wahan. If there's a terrorist camp, if there is a launch pad, it becomes a legitimate military target for India. We must announce that. And India has the means to destroy it. For example, in Rafale, we have missiles which can be fired from 600 kilometers away. Our Rafale doesn't need to go even near to the border. 600 miles away, we can fire a missile and we can destroy whatever we want. We have the technology, we have the weapons. It's the only question of declaring it. I would request Government of India and Rajnath ji to declare any terrorist activity against India becomes a legitimate target for Indian military. Let the world know it. Let all the Islamic countries and everybody know it. And nobody should open their mouth. Either don't have these camps in your territory, or if you have one, we have a right to destroy it. That's the message you have to send loud and clear, because the things have changed. We can't expect our civilians to be slaughtered in broad daylight, especially naam pata pooch ke. You know, when you find a religion and then you kill, that is not going to happen. And we are going to hit them hard.
Mr. Peer, as in fact, there is, of course, very natural and justified anger, and this is not just anger, this is the kind of sentiment that every Indian must have feeling and going in their veins, given the fact that Pakistan has never learnt from the mistakes that it has committed in the past as well, and continues to in fact provoke in this dastardly manner. There are also videos, you know, that are being viral on social media, with one of that of the cake being taken inside the Pakistan High Commission after there are in fact the barricading that has been removed. And you know, this only speaks of the fact that what is that Pakistan is not trying to admit, given the fact that the person who was carrying the cake was asked questions by the media, but he reportedly kept his mouth shut.
Look, ma'am, problem is very simple. It's not a question of you admit or don't admit. You know, I was reading a piece of news in the morning. Somebody rightly said you can't put lipstick on a pig. That is what exactly Pakistan is. You know, the problem here is that TRF has taken the responsibility. TRF is outfit of Lashkar-e-Toiba. Lashkar-e-Toiba is based out of Pakistan. So involvement of Pakistan is very, very clear. There's no doubt of it. They admit, they don't admit, is immaterial. World knows it. Now what we have to do is we have to make sure in due course of time, though we have decided to scale down the embassies and all, I don't know why do we need any diplomatic relations with Pakistan. And I am requesting Government of India through your channel right now, please stop this cricket business with Pakistan. Now, this country cannot take cricket happening in Pakistan. Champions Trophy, ye trophy, wo trophy. If we want to really send a message, stop this cricket, stop all cultural ties, educational ties, visas, nothing. And in due course of time, we might have to even shut our councils with Pakistan. We don't need to have any diplomatic relations with Pakistan in due course of time. So that is the message you send. Because if they have an embassy here, and trust me, Savaranji, if unfortunately there's another incident like this, they will again buy a cake. They are putting the salt on our injury. They are sending somebody to buy a cake. They know it will be caught by the media. This is a way of, you know, teasing us. Ye kehte hai na, hum pe hasna. That's the way how you put salt to the injury. That is what they are doing. And such jihadis and such illiterates, such barbarians, who in whose textbooks it is written, you know, honestly, if you look at a textbook of Pakistan, physics textbook, it is written, it's not as per Quran, but this is just we are reading it. These people who believe in jihad, the army has a motive of jihad. What are we doing with them? There is nothing in common with them. We have to cut all the ties. The further we are from them, the better we are. And Pakistani establishment is the epicenter of all the trouble. And you know, even I know, even in the embassies, there are these diplomatic, there are these military attaches. Where do they come from? They come from the Pakistani military. What do they expect them to do? They'll exactly do what they have done. But now it's a lot of water over the bridge. We have given peace and all this lot of time. And for the sake of God in this country, We should shut down all the people who talk about this Aman ki Asha, culture same hai ji, ye hai ji, wo hai ji. These all people need to be given a reality check. And I want to ask them, would you still say this if you were in Pahalgam couple of days back? If you had one of your friend, your brother, your sister in Pahalgam, would you still say Aman ki Asha? Would you still dare to talk culture, ties, ye, wo, biryani, cricket? This cricket and sporting ties must end. This cricket has to end with Pakistan. We can't be playing cricket with the people who have slaughtered our people in the broad daylight. And let's tell
absolutely,
the world,
Mr.
we mean business.
That is how exactly even there is a growing sentiment of collective anger against the forces and the terrorist forces and Pakistan brewing at this point of time. I'll request you to kindly stay on with us, as we also have this video that we want to show to our viewers, where an employee who has been posted in the Pakistan High Commission was seen going inside the Pakistan High Commission while carrying a cake. Was this cake delivered or was this cake ordered? And this is coming just 2 days after, when the nation is mourning the loss. The 26 bodies of the innocent Indian nationals and these brothers and these men have reached their hometowns. They are doing the final rites with inconsolable, in fact, manner. And this is the video that we have accessed from outside the Pakistan High Commission, with the employee now taking inside the cake. While the media has been trying to get to speak to him, he has not been able to utter a word. And as the media goes behind him, he is seen, in fact, taking that cake inside the Pakistan High Commission. While, in fact, did he took this cake for the celebration or not is something that is not verified at this point of time. This is what is completely shocking, what we are learning.
Cake for what is this celebration for? Are you from Pak High Commission?
What is this?
Sir, are you from Pak High Commission?
Are you from Pakistan High Commission?
Sir, where are you from, sir?
What is this? What is this cake for?
ऑकेजन क्या है बता ऑकेजन क्या है?
खाली occasion बता
28 लोग मरे, थोड़ा सा बताइए ना, दुख है इस बात का?
What is this? आप कहाँ से आए?
Where are you from, sir? आप बता दीजिए सर, कहाँ से हैं आप?
दुख है इस बात का?
Mehndi Garg, my colleague, is joining me live on the broadcast. While all right, in just a bit, Mehndi will join me live on the broadcast. Mr. Peer, this is just another instance where the kind of criticism that India has been leveling gets confirmed in a manner, but there is in fact no confirmation as to why was this done. There is a video we can show on our screens, and this is completely shocking and condemnable.
Ma'am, even if we don't know, if we don't have a proof why it was done, tell me for the sake of God, if there's a death in the neighborhood where we all live, do we celebrate a next day a birthday with a DJ? No, we don't do it, because we know pados mein death hui hai. No, even there's some death in the relatives which are far flung, we don't have celebrations for 6 months, 1 year, because we respect the sensitivities of life and death. Now, when this incident has happened, if these jihadis are getting the cake into the embassy, you have to know what it is for. You know, I mean, they could have avoided it. They could have not done it. They are doing it under purpose. They are trying to send a message that we are celebrating. It is the same mentality. Remember when 7th October 2023 happened, people of Hamas in Qatar were doing this Namaz-e-Shukrana, Ismail Haniya and others, which every channel showed, your channel also showed, which the world media showed. The Jews were getting slaughtered there. These people were doing Namaz-e-Shukrana in Qatar. And what did Israel do to settle Ismail Haniya? So exactly, this is the treatment these jihadis need. They have a mentality like that. And this mentality has to be permanently shut down. This machine cannot be rebooted. It has to be settled. It has to be disposed of. That is what this mentality is about. And when we have our people dead, aaj chitaye jalengi Simranji. And what are they trying to do? They are Pakistani commission mein, they are getting a cake. Cake katega wahan pe. मतलब हमारे घरों में चिताई जलेंगी और वहाँ केक कटेगा. That is the reality of life. I mean, these people should know the sensitivities, but they are celebrating their victory. They have said we have given a biggest attack to India, and Indian establishment, Indian government is looking so weak, and their Kashmir theory is bunked and all that. They're celebrating that. Let's be candid with that. And now we have to infestate wounds which are beyond repair on Pakistan, and these wounds have to be permanent. No reboot, no haircut, permanent settlement. All these people, all these actors who are involved need to be permanently settled and settled for good, so that they know there's a cost and implication and ramification of doing it. I tell you something, I have my own YouTube channel. I just opened yesterday the comments. I did a program on this. I opened this channel comments. Ma'am, thousands of people came in. Thousands. I had to shut it down. I could not handle. Thousands of things started coming in, and the anger was so palpable. You know, there are common men from across India and even people out of India. You know, there was so much. If you open your phone lines right now, Simranji, I'm telling you, you know, the phone lines will crash. There's so much of anger because we talk to so many people in the day. There's so much of anger because we cannot take this. This is too much now. This is too much now. We have,
Well, all right,
we are
Mr.
mourning our
Sumit P.
brothers.
As we can see, these are the latest that we are learning, and of course highly condemnable and all ties in every manner, and there is in fact no leeway to be left for ensuring any kind of amicable relationships further with Pakistan, given the fact of this nature of the terrorist attack that has once again unleashed the kind of motives and also reaffirmed the intention of Pakistan in only propagating the terrorist activities on Indian soil. Thank you very much, Sumit Peer, for being with us on the broadcast and for also presenting your views in such an elaborative manner. Joining me live on the broadcast next is Mehndi Garg, who is in fact going to share more details as to what is this video that we have access from outside the Pakistan High Commission with an employee carrying the cake box inside the High Commission is. Has there been any verifying comment on that? Because there is also the Pakistan account that has been also suspended on X in India now.
Well, indeed, Simran, we have got the exclusive shot of a man who was, carrying a cake inside the Pakistan High Commission, and it was very suspicious of him to carry a cake inside the Pakistan embassy. And when we tried to talk to him as well, he didn't utter a word. And we tried to talk to him to ask his name and what was the purpose of him taking the cake inside the Pakistan embassy. All these questions were asked to him, but he didn't utter a word. And when we tried to, reach the Pakistan embassy gate as well, then some of the people from the embassy, from the inside embassy rather, comes on the door and they shut that door on our faces as well. And we tried to have an exclusive conversation with that guy because it was very, suspicious of him to take a cake box inside the Pakistan embassy in between, such a chaotic situation. We can say the terror attack that have happened, one day back in Pahalgam, where 26 to 28 people, innocent people, have lost their lives, and a very, shocking visual have come early in the morning at around between 9 to 10 a.m. rather, when a person who was carrying the cake box in his hand was entering the Pakistan embassy. So yes, suspicions are still underway over that cake box. That what was the cake about? What was inside the cake box? And in such conditions right now, the terror attacks that have happened in Kashmir, how such a visual outside the Pakistan embassy can be seen, and what this visual holds accountable about. And when we tried to talk to him as well, that person didn't talk to us. We tried to have an exclusive conversation with him. NewsX has the exclusive visuals of that man as well, but he didn't utter a word. And yes, Simran, also a Pakistani X account was suspended by the Indian government. So a lot of suspicion is around right here after CCS meeting yesterday also, when India tried to cut all the ties with Pakistan. So yes, a lot of suspicious activities have been observed outside the Pakistan embassy as well today. Yes, Simran.
Well, all right, Mehndi, thank you very much for sharing more details. Now, my colleague has also filed a ground report showing this employee taking the cake inside the Pakistan High Commission. Let's take a look.
पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी के बाहर से यहाँ पर ही आप देख सकते हैं कि एक जो शख्स है वो केक लेकर पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी में जा रहा है। हालांकि बात करने के लिए जो है ये शख्स तैयार नहीं है, कोई भी एक शब्द इनकी तरफ से नहीं बोला जा रहा है, लेकिन ये जो शख्स है वो लगातार पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी के अंदर जा रहा है। तो देखिए तस्वीरें हम आपको पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी के बाहर से दिखा रहे हैं। यहाँ पर जो है किसी की तरफ से कुछ बताया नहीं जा रहा है। एक केक जो है वो फिलहाल पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी के अंदर लेकर जाया गया है। किस तरीके से ये जो क्यों लेकर गया है, कौन वो शख्स है, उसकी कोई जानकारी फिलहाल यहाँ पर नहीं दी गई है। लेकिन ये तस्वीरें देखिए हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं गेट नंबर 2 से जो पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी के बाहर है। और यहाँ पर जो ये शख्स है वो कौन है उसकी कोई जानकारी नहीं है, लेकिन एक केक लेकर जाया गया है अभी फिलहाल इस पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी के अंदर। हालांकि किस तरीके का ये जो क्या ये किसी प्रकार का कोई उत्सव है, क्योंकि कल 26 से 28 लोगों की परसों जाने ली गई है और पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी में फिलहाल एक शख्स जो है वो केक लेकर अंदर पहुंचा है। और तस्वीरें हमने आपको दिखाई कि किस तरीके से मीडिया ने जब सवाल पूछने शुरू किए तो उस शख्स ने कुछ भी नहीं बोला और जो पाकिस्तान एम्बेसी का गेट है उसे बंद कर दिया गया। लेकिन ये केक क्यों लेकर जाया गया है और कौन वो शख्स था उस पर अभी भी सवाल बना हुआ है। कैमरा पर्सन दीपक के साथ मैं मेहंदीगर, इंडिया न्यूज़ के लिए।
अगर आप बनना चाहते हैं एंकर या फिर आप में है जुनून एक तेज तर्रार न्यूज रिपोर्टर बनने का, तो आप ज्वाइन करें ITV और इंडिया NewsX का मीडिया स्कूल। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल का कोर्स आपको मौका देता है देश के दिग्गज एंकर्स के साथ काम करने का। ITV नेक्स्ट मीडिया इंटरनेशनल स्कूल में आप बेहद नजदीकी से देख पाएंगे किस तरह से ITV नेटवर्क के दिग्गज पत्रकारों की टीम दिन रात खबरों पर काम करती है। इस कोर्स के दौरान आप सीखेंगे एंकरिंग की एक एक बारीकी उन एंकर्स के साथ